Hi there, 5 power moves to becoming a better musician. Number one, and this is my top tip that I've talked about before, is transcribing music or listening to music in an analytical way. And I think this is something that you can do as a composer, as a performer, as any musician, as an orchestrator to improve your musical understanding. Listening analytically, taking away what you can about how the music is put together, how the performance is put together. And that means, I think, in a way, separating yourself from what the music means to a certain extent, but just looking underneath the hood and analysing the absolute sort of nuts and bolts of what's going on. Be that as a composer writing a piano transcription of what you're hearing or working on the production quality of what you're hearing. If you're a performer, maybe looking and listening to ways that the performer as I don't know, the touch on the piano or the way that the breathing works on a wind instrument, for example. But that analysis, which means listening to a bit of music and going back and listening again and repeating, just tiny little bars, tiny little bits, it gets ingrained in your mind. And learning from every single time you press record or you press play and rewind and letting it soak in, trying to really, really work out what's going on. I think that is really, really valuable, particularly for composers. The transcribing thing is a really, really powerful super tool. I did a video about it a few weeks ago, which I'll link to below. It's not easy to do for anybody, but just in terms of really, really improving your musical understanding, I don't think you can really beat it. The other thing is the total opposite of that, which is let's call it emotional listening, which is where you switch that analytical mind off and you just try and not work out how the music was put together, but what the effect the music is having on you. And this is, I think, why we love music in the first place. And I think as a professional musician, for me, I do tend to sort of transcribe and analyze too much sometimes and lose the emotional impact and the emotional connection that music gives me and has for me. And I think that if you can get back into a regular habit of emotional listening, that can really improve you, not technically as a musician, but emotionally as a musician and from a feeling point of view as a musician. And I think we do lose that if you're playing all the time or you're writing music all the time. It can become difficult to switch off, and it can be become difficult to sort of consume music, but also to connect with that music as well. Can sometimes feel like there's a bit of a barrier there of technical stuff, or a bit of a barrier of tiredness or fatigue or something that, because you've been doing music on a high level all day. For me, I find this, that I don't want to listen in the evenings, and it takes a bit of self-discipline to do that. But if you can sort of get into almost a meditative mindset and just let the music sort of speak to you, I think that is immensely valuable. And that emotional experience is why most or all of us got into music anyway, I think, and why we love it so much, but also something that you can learn from by purposefully and in a sort of organized way doing it. Third thing, focus, structured practice of whatever your discipline is. Practice, obviously, is really, really important, and studying is really, really, really important. But the quality of that, and looking at the quality of the practice and the structure of whatever you're practicing, and the regularity and your schedule of practicing, I think is vitally, vitally important. It's very easy to just get into a habit of almost just sort of mechanical practicing, where you're just going through the notes or going through the motions, but focusing on a particular weakness, focusing on developing a particular skill, having a list of things that you're going to work on for how long and what you hope to achieve, sort of micro goals. If you are learning about music, I think this applies to any course. I think I've done it so many times, as you listen to a course or you go through something, a period of learning, and you're there while you're watching the video, you're there while you're in the class, you're there while you're being spoken to, and you understand what's going on, but you don't put it into practice. And most people don't. We gain the information, and I think particularly in the YouTube world, there's so much information out there that actually we allow ourselves to soak the information in, but don't action it. It's consumption rather than actually doing anything about it. So if you are practicing and wanting to learn and develop, then I think you need to really, really be disciplined and focused in putting your new knowledge into action, be that in practicing or a compositional skill or whatever, and making sure you have focused practice time. Which sort of leads me on to the next thing, which is coaching or mentorship. If you're really, really wanting to improve at anything, you need to surround yourself with people who are a little bit better than you, or even a lot better than you. You will progress more quickly as a small fish in a big pond than you will as a big fish in a small pond. That can mean as an instrumentalist, playing with people who are more experienced than you, making music with people who are better than you. It can mean maybe as a composer getting a mentor or going through a coaching program. And that can really, really shortcut and really, really sort of move you into the upper sphere very, very quickly in a way that if you tried to work it out for yourself on your own would have taken ages and ages. And there is a really, really big difference, I think. And finally, looking outside of music and exploring other art forms. I think we think of music as the art form, and that musical expression is the only way that we can express ourselves or understand ourselves. And I think as a musician, exploring other art forms, be it art, architecture, theatre, whatever you enjoy doing, can really, really spark your creative juices. It can sort of get you out of your blinkered way of thinking. It can complement your creative and artistic thinking in a really, really powerful way. So there we go, 5 power moves to becoming a better musician. So the transcribing and analytical listening, really, really strong and powerful, difficult to do, but really high yield in terms of results, I think. Emotional listening, something that I think is very easy to lose, but something that's vitally important to reconnecting with your why, being a musician, and also reconnecting with the power and the sort of expressive capabilities of music, and inspiring you to harness that and to tap into it. Really focused, structured practice and study with a regular schedule, not just go through the motions, but being really systematic about it and working on individual things and working on ways of building your skills. Coaching and mentorship as a way of fast-tracking yourself, surrounding yourself with people at a higher level than you and sort of soaking up their expertise, and exploring and really experiencing other complementary art forms. Hope that was helpful. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.